Good afternoon. Isn't this a beautiful afternoon? So I would tell our graduates to sit, but I'd rather you continue to stand for the national anthem. Class of 2021, please be seated. So thank you all for being here on this beautiful evening. I'd like to introduce some of our guests on the stage. I'm going to start with the people who are going to be reading your names, Mr. Timothy Zimmerman and Mr. Adam Gish. We have Assistant Principals Ida Acton, James Blanton. We have a Director, Sarah Pritchett. We have our School Board Director, Lisa Rivera Smith. We have James Bush, who is the Chief of Equity Partnerships and Engagement. And let me make sure I have everybody. And I have Dr. Mia Williams. She is a special person to me. She is a doctor now. I knew her when she was itty bitty. I just made that up. And so I just wanted to, now she's downtown. She's a director of the African American Male group. So I hope I got everybody. I'm sorry. I'm trying to make this as dignified as possible, and I just messed it all up. And last, but certainly not least, our acting superintendent, Dr. Brent Jones. As we start today's graduation ceremony, we ask that at all times you keep your mask on, that you remain within your pod section. Thank you for being here to celebrate 2021. So let us begin. Garfield has 45 valedictorians. This year, senior Lucy Milodragovic was voted on to represent her fellow valedictorians, to represent them on the stage this evening. Lucy, I am so sorry I butchered your name. Please come forward.
And Ms. Lynch said I should take my mask off. Is that still correct? That's fine. Hello, esteemed guests, and congratulations, class of 2021. My name My name is Lucy Maladragovich, and I'll be speaking tonight on behalf of this year's valedictorians. First, we'd like to acknowledge that as residents of Seattle, we're on the ancestral and unceded land of the Coast Salish and Duwamish peoples, who are stewards of this land. I encourage you to learn more about the Duwamish people's fight for federal recognition and sign their change.org petition. Now, Now, I'll read the names of all 44 other valedictorians. When I read your name, please stand facing the audience and remain standing during the speech. Family and friends, please hold your applause till later in the speech when directed. Gautam Anant, Clara Bates, Brooke Benmar, Joey Beal, Gemma Bosselman, Asha Budge, Riley Bundesman, Molly Chapin, Lauren Chin, Rose Clark, Dominic Doe, Jaden Fan, Emma Fasulo, Ezra Ford, Asher Gold, Aiden Grambler, Inga Gudeman, Sadie Hanscom, Colin Heath, Katie Hippie, Carrie Huang, Ivan Karp, Joni Leahy, Nathan Lee, Tate Linden, Ari Lynn Goldstein, Melina Nilsson, Amelia Nomura, Keaton Orser, Elsa Austenson, Robbie Pang, Aviv Pinker, Philip Ratner, Ella Schmidt, Maya Shelton, Colby Smith, Cameron Sue, Christopher Storm, Corey Tan, Julia Theory, Alyssa Du, Livia Wolfley, Eric Wong, and Aaron Shu. Class of 2021, we did it. As it turns out, the roof fire on the third day of freshman year was a pretty good indicator of how the rest of high school would go. Through T-How plucking phones from the hands of unsuspecting students, to the struggle of back-in-angle parking, or as I like to call it, front-in-angle parking, and to living in constant fear of our mics being switched off of mute, we persevered. As funny as it is to reflect back on those troubled times, we pushed through ordeals our freshman selves never could have predicted. An online school showed us the importance of what we once took for granted. We learned the value of small interactions with classmates and teachers, conversations in hallways, greetings at the beginning of class, and commiserating about the lack of paper towels in the bathrooms. All jokes aside, I want to touch on more serious topics. Most of the valedictorians standing before you are a concrete example of how this city and country overall works. We're largely products of the HCC educational track, which favors students from wealthy, overwhelmingly white families. For some, educational tracking gives an unfair advantage, a fast track that starts in elementary school and leads to increased access to AP classes, college, and vocational opportunities as a whole. The HCC program is inherently anti-Black. And I want to acknowledge the white privilege that I have to be talking about racism and not experiencing it. It is the responsibility of us as white people to acknowledge and work to remove these systems in our schools, which we have created and consciously upheld. Looking around at the faces of the valedictorians, it's hard not to notice the absence of Black students. This becomes increasingly problematic as you remember that Black students account for almost a quarter of the student body. This lack of diversity proves that the HCC program is working exactly as designed. Meanwhile, Asian students in the HCC program benefit from the opportunities it affords and simultaneously are harmed by the white-centric emphasis and erasure of their Asian identities. People often don't acknowledge these negative effects, and even just last year, one school district in Washington decided to count Asian students as white in demographics data. The tokenization of Asian students in the HCC program as the model minority has been used against Black students to quote-unquote prove the diversity of the program, because if anyone tries hard enough, they can succeed. This myth divides students of color and has been used as a justification for racial segregation in schools. To all of the white parents in attendance today, I ask that you take time to reflect on this question. Has your child succeeded at the expense of others? To the district, I ask this: how many more students have to suffer before you decide it's finally time to desegregate our schools? The title of valedictorian is usually associated with hard work, dedication, and intelligence. But those same qualities are found in every graduate here. Whether you show that, whether you show that through your job, home life, friendships, sports, or extracurriculars, even though the school system has made you feel that you're not good enough, you are. We all deserve a school where we feel worthy and wanted. So I'd like to invite you, every single student graduating here tonight, who makes up the excellence of Garfield, to stand. Stand up, everyone. Family and friends, I invite you to congratulate all of these students on their hard work, dedication, and intelligence. Let's give them a round of applause. Grads, please remain standing for just a minute longer while we thank our teachers and families. Now, we'd like to say thank you to the only people who have kept their cameras on the entire year. Along with the rest of us, teachers have been tossed into the experiment that is online school. They've sacrificed their time and energy to help us succeed, checking in with individual students, making themselves available during lunch breaks and after school, and encouraging us to do our best. Teachers grew and adapted, and in rare cases, were able to share their screens correctly with audio. Teachers and faculty, we can't thank you enough for all of your hard work. And to the teachers and staff of color who have been bravely advocating to detrack Garfield for years, and who have been largely ignored and silenced, your efforts have not gone unnoticed. Let's give it up for Garfield staff and teachers. We also want to thank the people who raised us and helped us get to where we are today. Family members, friends, we are so grateful for your patience and support. Anyone who's shown us unconditional love during our journeys to adulthood, you have a special place in our hearts. Thank you. Grads, let's give a round of applause to our family and friends. We are held up by the people around us. And in the solitude of the pandemic, we've learned to appreciate those people even more. Their unique struggles and stories, tenacity and triumphs. This wasn't the senior year we expected, but it's what we got. And whether it was a year you will always remember or one you're trying hard to forget, I hope you can find pride in who you've become as a result. In a couple of hours, once graduation ends, we'll go our separate ways, tackle the problems we encounter, and enact real change in the world. This class is special, both for what we've endured and what we have achieved. I'm so proud of you all for making it to this moment. You all may be seated.
Thank you so much, Lucy. The next speaker I'd like to introduce is your senior class president, Aziza Alibay.
Hey, y'all. I said hey. There we go. Hi, guys. My name's Aziza Alibay. I'm actually not your senior class president. I'm your executive ASG Garfield president. Thank you very much. I'm actually not up here to dance for you guys. I know that's what I usually do, but I'm actually here to give a speech. But before I do that, I just want to say thank you guys for letting me speak, and also shout out our senior representatives. So we have our senior president, TJ Joseph. We have our vice president, Daryl Coaxum. We have our secretary, Claire Balcom. And last but not least, our senior advisor, Mr. Zimmerman, who put together a lot of stuff for us. So we love you, Mr. Z. To start my speech off right, in the words of the hot girl philosopher and street poet Megan Thee Stallion, we started off as clueless freshmen, overwhelmed at the thought of high school. A lot of us may have even had siblings at Garfield before, but nothing would be able to prepare us for our next 4 years as Bulldogs. And to anyone who transferred in later, I see you took our shoulda been a Bulldog cheer very seriously. I'm glad you guys are Bulldogs now. Sorry, it's a little windy, y'all. At freshman orientation, we met with our link crew leaders, whose best advice was telling us to keep walking in circles around the building if we couldn't find our class. At our first assembly, I remember being dressed in all white for our spirit day, waving my hands back and forth, yelling, R.I.P., 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 not realizing I was supposed to be yelling, 21, 21, 21. Cardi B's Bodak Yellow was at the top of the charts as we yelled out every single word, and I mean every word, while the dance team popped off as a center of attention in the gym. And I actually ended up being the only freshman on the dance team at that time and had to apologize over the intercom to everybody a few weeks later for my foul language while hyping up the dance team. And I've also never told my parents that, so sorry, Mom and Dad. Love you guys. Anyways, we slowly got acquainted with the Garfield spirit as the band kicked us off with our Android anthem and the class of 18 turned their backs on us during our first YELL. The start of our sophomore year, academics really started to kick in. We were allowed to sign up for AP classes, and I don't know about y'all, but AP World History really kicked me in my butt. It was hard. I was lucky enough to have an amazing teacher who would always encourage my class and has become someone I know will always have my back. And he actually left us during second semester, but to anybody who had Mr. Ray, I know y'all know. Woo! Before I start this, there is a light warning. There's some names named of deaths, so if you need to prepare yourself for that, you have a little bit of time. If I shortly had to describe our junior year, I'd say it was absolutely overwhelming. It came to a halt as coronavirus started taking over our daily lives. Having no motivation to study for AP tests, only being able to see friends and family through electric screens and windows, terrible sleep schedules, deteriorating mental health, and stupid TikTok trends that I most definitely participated in. On top of that, we have the deaths of George Floyd, Breonna Taylor, Dante Wright, Ma'Khia Bryant, protests, petitions being signed and donated to, and social media platforms left and right blowing up, exposing people. There was so much happening for anyone to function in such a short period of time. At one point, I really did begin to feel kind of numb to everything that was going on, and it was like the same thing just kept happening over and over again. So finishing junior year became a struggle, but we persevered, and look, we're here now, right? Thank you. I know we all had that in the back of our heads, like we have the whole summer, like our senior year will be fine, everything will be dandy, only to end up having our last day of school be completely online. And also to end up having 3/4 of our school year online. I can't tell you guys the amount of times I've logged into Mr. Gish's language arts class just to fall asleep. I'm sorry, Mr. Gish. But somehow I'd get lucky enough and wake up to hear him saying, let me get my Mr. Gish voice. Young people, this is the end of the class. Drink water, be safe. I'll see you guys next one. Was that a good impression? However, I know I'm not the only one who struggled through online school, so I'd like to take a second to shout out some of the besties we've all made through our online courses. If you guys know these people, please cheer for them. First up, we got Photo Math. Yeah! Next up, we got Math Away. I was on that, I'm not gonna hold you. Following along, we got Spark Notes for the books that I did not read. Yeah! And we can't forget our OG Quizlet for all them Spanish tests. All right. To our teachers, I know y'all were tired of talking to blank Teams icons and that awkward silence waiting for us to type in the chat after asking us a question. So also sorry for that. I still forget sometimes that I can't mute myself in real life, which is kind of weird because I'll go like this and then be like, yeah. And also to our teachers, this might be the first time you're seeing some of our faces, so hey, you guys can wave to the teachers. But now look at us. Somehow we all made it here to graduation looking 1,000 times better than we did as freshmen. Some of y'all look a little too good. I actually had a problem when I went to, oh, sorry. You guys look very nice in your cap and gown. Everybody does. I actually had a problem when I tried to order mine. My friends and all picked ours up together and got excited as we tried them on in the back parking lot at school. Everyone's looked perfect. Until I put mine on thinking it was finna go crazy just to find out it was above my knees. They gave me a gown for someone 4'11". I am not 4'11". But when I got home, put it on my little brother and watched him laugh and walk around my room. I got a little sentimental about it because I started to feel like it was just yesterday I had met a lot of you seniors in front of me at Thurgood Marshall Elementary School, and it was about to be our 5th grade promotion. I look around now and see so many faces from 8th grade at Washington when we were also at our promotion. And if you knew me in middle school, no, you didn't. Those were our good old days. The days where we were stressing over if we had enough cupcakes to pass out to everyone at our birthdays instead of which colleges we would apply to. But to get back to my story, I did exchange my gown for the correct 6'2" sizing because we all know I give off that energy. And even as I stand before you in the correct size cap and gown, I'm gonna cry. I still can't help but reminisce on those days. Oh my gosh, okay. Our world is about to be shook and cracked open like a pistachio. And to those of you that have nut allergies, I'm so sorry, but it is natural selection. Sorry, I don't want to cry, but we went from yelling out Drake's God's plan and asking people for high fives just to dab them out the way, to dice rolling to the castaways and asking the universe to give us signs that our manifestations of bringing that one person back were coming true. So as we say goodbye, I don't want to say goodbye. Ooh, I look a hot mess. Okay. As we say goodbye to Ezel's and Lotus for lunch and hello to dining hall food and cup noodles, we can finally say we've completed that thing that the government makes us do. A weight will lift off our shoulders as we no longer have to be cordial to that one person who always sent the homework to the group chat. And we can get excited to spend our last summer together with our friends before we leave and part our separate ways. Whew. We can thank our parents for supporting us through these big kid decisions we've had to make in the last month. We can thank the counselors and the teachers and everyone else a part of admin for pushing us through to the very end. And I'd also like to just shout out my friend group because you guys really taught me a lot through the years, and I love you guys very much. So to my guru Lemon Jacks, I love you guys. I love you more. This is the last time a lot of us will see each other's faces. So just look over to your left and your right to enjoy this moment and be thankful that we were able to have this opportunity together. And cherish it because soon enough, this is just going to become one of the good old days. That's just your ASG president signing out.
Thank you, Aziza. You did a wonderful job. So as I was saying at the very beginning, My name is Princess Sharif, and I've had the privilege of being the principal for this last year. So I'm introducing myself. Because a lot of us haven't seen each other ever. And so here I am. So it's been very challenging for us all, but listen, think of it this way. There's not been another class that's persevered the way you have for the last year and a half. And I guarantee you, you'll share these stories of this period for the rest of your life. Your grandchildren will get tired of the pandemic stories. Yes, Grandma, I know you had to go to school using nothing but a Teams app and some Schoology. I get it. No, Grandpa, I don't know what it's like to have to go without a pedicure for a year. I'm 5. But seriously, you did this. You've been able to navigate these rough waters and are ready to move on. I've been kind of jokingly describing myself as a senior this year, and I technically am. But there are some similarities between what's happening with you and what's happening with me. We are all about to take this next step, and while it's exciting, it's also pretty intimidating. We're about to leave a place where most of us felt comfortable and known to venture out into the world. I'll be taking some risk and trying some new things, and I know you will too. So the things I'm about to say to you are simple, but they're the things I would have liked to have heard as I sat where you sit, but it was 50 years ago. That doesn't mean good words weren't spoken at my graduation. It just means I didn't hear them. People worry about learning that's been lost during this time. I'm not worried at all. You'll fill the gaps. Learning opportunities always happen. We just have to take advantage of them. And you're smart. You won't leave your lived experiences behind. You'll take those lessons that you've learned with you. And you're savvy enough to understand that you must ask if you want to know. We will cherish our friendships here and build new ones because we know what it looks like. We'll be able to find those who will support us when we stumble. Remember, just because it sparkles doesn't mean it needs to be in your pocket. I just made that up. But you get it. Recognize that everything is not for you. James Baldwin said, you have to decide who you are and force the world to deal with you, not with its idea of you. You're a bulldog. I know you will not allow yourself to be boxed in. Now, these next steps are important, but you can't be worried about the unknown. Take that leap. Be smart and be caring. Please have the vision to see beyond yourself. The world needs you, if only to treat others with respect. Toni Morrison said she wrote her first novel because she wanted to read it. You go out there and solve problems, save the day, stand for what's right, laugh and cry, play and love, and sometimes just sit and listen. Or dance and make music and paint and write your own novels. Build things and grow things, invent things and launch things, because you want to see your dreams come true. You want to see them come to life. Don't be afraid to seize the day because you only live once. You'll take the next step confidently. I know you will. You are brilliant and brave and prepared. Let's go. Director Rivera Smith, it is my privilege to present to you the Garfield High School class of 2021, who, having met the graduation requirements of Seattle Public Schools and the state of Washington, and are prepared to graduate today.
Principal Sharif, on behalf of the Seattle Public Schools Board and the citizens of Seattle that we represent, I hereby accept the Garfield High School class of 2021. Congratulations, graduates.
Garfield High School, it's now time to celebrate your graduation by reading your names into the record. School directors will now direct each individual row and to stand and move to the outside of your row, where you'll be directed to the main stage. As your name is read, please pick up a diploma shield and move to the center of the stage. You may then briefly lower your mask for that Kodak moment before recovering your face and returning to your original seat. Please sit down as soon as you've returned to your seat. This is the part where the cards come in. You guys ready? So if you hand your cards to one of the card readers on your side,
do we have to keep our masks?
Arman Amer Godsi.
Hanan Abdi.
Renee Anderson.
Sabrine Abdi.
Amara Andreessen.
Amdan Abudu.
Nadasan Andre.
Ava Agopsowitz.
Princess Asensio.
Tenu An.
Eugene Brown.
Aziza Alabe. Simone Alberts.
Owen Averill.
Jagger Aldrich.
Kasai Avery.
Devontae Allen.
Jack Babanas.
Simon Bata.
Nathaniel Beaumont.
Elizabeth Baker.
Daryl Beauregard Coxum.
Claire Balcom.
Eliana Beckel.
Aaron Bonsa.
Tyvon Bellinger.
Ellie Barnicut.
Hattie Bendel.
Calvin Barnes.
Brooke Benmar.
Andrew Barnett.
Marjon Bennett.
Dasani Bascom Brown.
Joey Beal.
Clara Bates.
Kelly Blair.
Levi Bach.
Samantha Bland.
Lena Beaufait.
Eden Blanford.
Owen Blas Rojas.
Colin Bryant.
Carline Bontes.
Asha Budge.
Gemma Bosselman.
Riley Bundesheim.
Chandler Boyd Flegel.
Christoph Boots.
Emma Braylauer.
Mila Kane.
Iris Brenowitz.
Alex Cameron Wukowski.
Benjamin Breslish.
Grady Canty Swap.
Troy Brown Jr.
Larson Caples.
Belle Brown.
Edgar Soto.
Maya Brown.
Zoe Carr.
Elizabeth Carroll.
Si Min Chin.
Amelia Carrot.
Amy Chang.
Josiah Senemo Rose.
Betty Chang.
Devin Chambers.
Lauren Chin.
Jasmine Chang. Hey, kiddo.
Grace Chinowski.
Anovi Chandler.
Chloe Christensen. Delia Christensen. Sorry.
I have no card. Hold on one second. Donald Chan.
Sophia Chrysanthopoulos.
Mohammed Yai.
Jotika Chung.
Ivan Chan.
Milo Chibelli.
Joanna Chang.
Simone Cielos.
Molly Chapin.
Jory Dahl.
Daniel Chen.
Cyrus Davies.
Josephine Clark.
Hilda Daza Sanchez.
Rose Clark.
Kalina DeLong.
Amelia Collett.
Joey DeMonte.
Simon Collins.
Abdirahim Dek.
Ricardo Contreras.
Kasim Dekate.
Michael Cowenberg.
Dominic Doe.
Danielle Kroom.
Dahlia Drugan.
Alandra Crowley.
Ariano Drummond. And just take one.
Camilla Crudup.
Emma Fasulo.
Maxine Eve Holigores Embry.
Gabe Fine.
Kenneth Cole Dungo.
Tibet Fernandez.
Sandy Araceli Duran.
Delson Finley.
Fiona Engelson.
Guinevere Fish.
Sandra Esse.
Saida Fisher.
Alice Fairman.
Jane Fix.
Jaden Fan.
Ezra Ford.
Max Franco.
Taya Fortune.
Dash Fox.
London Foster Otero.
Vanessa Franco Lopez.
Aiden Grambler.
Phoebe Frank.
Sarah Greeley.
Annabelle Frocht.
Sian Welde.
Caden Frost.
Hermes Opti.
Peyton Fukeda.
Fasaha Haptum.
Inga Goodman.
Azan Halley.
Elijah Gane.
Sienna Hammond.
Shane Gantz.
Zach Hammond.
Leslie Garcia Antonio.
Sadie Hanscom.
Bernice Gaspar Peña.
Anna Hansen.
Amadou Guy.
Kevin Griffin.
Robel Gebre.
Jacqueline Harris.
Yamlak Gebre. Congratulations.
Rowan Harrison.
Lydia Gabriel.
Christopher Wynn.
Bethel Getu.
Darartu Hassan.
Asher Gold. Charlotte Goldstein.
Mohammed Amin Hassan.
Benjamin Goodwin.
Lubna Hassanin.
Jamal Henderson.
Colin Heath.
Diego Hernandez Ramirez.
Hermela Habtemeriam.
Phoebe Hernandez. Vanessa Herrera Caballero.
Mateo Enriquez.
Eliza G. Herrera Vega.
Eleanor Henson.
Jalen Heyman.
Ian Holtzman.
Jonah Hillman. Fern Hinrichs.
Layla Houston.
Katie Hippie.
Asia Howard.
Octavia Hoffman.
Lauren Howell.
Sophia Holland.
Annie Wong.
Oliver Hyman.
Carrie Wong.
Hinda Ibrahim.
My Queen Hayden.
Trinity Jackson.
Darren Huang.
Samuel Jane.
Tammy Huang.
Jack Jensen.
Wyatt Huang.
Kyle Jensen.
J. Marie Hubbard.
Ford Johnson.
Gabriella Hughes.
Ivan Karp.
Graham Highland.
Noor Kaur.
Carly Johnson.
Eleanor Kay.
Sophia Johnson.
Quinn Kerwin.
Talia Johnson.
Lillian Cato.
Amelia Jones.
Hiroshi Koda.
Anthanasia Jones.
Nathaniel Korahias.
Jemiah Jones.
Oscar Kubanek.
Lejea Jones.
Yatin Kukreja.
Quentin Jordan.
Mahalia Lagazo.
TJ Joseph.
Isabel Lamola.
Charles Justice.
Collis Leon.
Wayne Cassay.
Tate Linden.
Milena Kasai.
Verde Liu.
Malcolm Laird.
Paulino Lopez Molina.
Desiree Lane.
Anthony Lopez Perez.
George Levine.
Matthew Lord.
Joni Leahy.
Maria Lorenzo.
Maggie Lear.
Pascal Lovery.
Nathan Lee.
Aaron Liu.
Francis Lenz.
Eduardo Lugovina.
Lana Layden.
Aubrielle McNeil.
Lucy Layden.
Corday McNish.
Michael Lee.
Teague McPherson.
Mona Lee.
Bella McQuaid.
Ari Lynn Goldstein.
Zev Mednick.
Sean McCarthy Grant.
Benjamin Mefford.
Max Mahoney Schaefer.
Heavenly Mahari.
Hannah Mai.
Luna Mengestab.
Ria Maizano Torres.
Miles Merriweather.
Noah Mark.
Maria Mashala. Sabir Musa.
Luis Ronaldo Martinez.
Leon Neal Jr.
Sarah Mathan.
Alexander Nelson.
Alexa Mauga.
Bethany Newton.
Miles Mayhew.
Nicholas Singh.
Kyrie Miller.
Hong Nguyen. Jayla Nguyen.
Zachary Miller.
Melina Nielsen.
Lucy Milo Dragovich.
Amelia Nomura.
From the back, I couldn't really tell what was happening.
Jasper Modi.
Madija Adukwe.
Masa Mohajeri.
Sahej Olivar.
Rami Mohammed.
Robbie Peng.
Saeed Mohammed.
Eliana Perkins.
Olaf Morrison.
Pernicia Petit.
Owen Montefisher.
Aviv Pinker.
Madison Moon.
Eli Pollock.
Jasmine Morales.
Sophia Prawley.
Jackson Monday.
Cypress Price Nascimento.
Keaton Orser.
Adam Race.
Conic Ortega Lopez.
Brittany Ramirez Osorio.
Adrian Ortiz Hernandez.
Jack Rasmussen.
Elsa Austinson.
Nicholas Sager.
Jake Ostro.
Ella Sampson.
Cameron Owens.
Joshua Samuel.
Jasmine Park.
Eleanor Sanders.
Rachel Park.
Hannah Sanders.
Aiden Parsons.
Otto Sapora.
Chloe Peyton Zindel.
Ella Schmidt.
Philip Ratner.
Hani Schrader Peters.
Joyce Nicole Raimundo.
John Schwartz Torres.
Lucia Razak.
Finnegan Scully.
Jerry Reyes Rodriguez.
Nahom Seifu.
Angelina Reyes.
Carrie Smith.
Gavin Richards.
Alana Stern.
Bilal Robel.
Eleonora Snyder.
Owen Robinson.
Kidus Solomon.
Ara Pauline Rock.
Kylie Salverud.
Smith Rothschild.
Cameron Sue.
Naima Saeed.
William Spencer III.
Alana Sendlikowski.
Harold Stark Santana.
Jayla Shabazz.
Levi Stein.
Maya Shelton.
Dylan Stefferson.
Kaylin Silas.
Stella Stirk.
Nicola Simpson.
Anya Stretch.
Jonah Small.
Meklet Tesfaye.
Brianna Smith.
Alex Ty.
Colby Smith.
Julia
Manija.
Theory.
Manija Smith.
Alec Thomas Toth.
Matt Stewart.
Alex Thornywell.
Christopher Storm.
Owen Tiffany.
Emily Strickland.
Congratulations.
Alima Sila.
Denali Tan.
Corey Tan.
Alyssa Du.
Jabez Tuwalo.
Nina Tran.
Abraham Tegenye.
Tiana Tran.
Sophia Tekesti.
Kien Bin Vo.
Ashley Teofilo.
Graham Waldeck.
Kibram Tesfa.
Isla Walker.
Benjamin Thomas.
Nathan Wall.
Forrest Shearhart.
Mason Wall.
Michelle C.
Rowan Wallace.
Lazarus Tapo.
Isabel Wong.
Lillian Us Tum.
Oliver Wong.
Sophia Valenta.
Max Warburg.
Mitchell Valenzano.
Julia Wortman.
Ian Van Loo.
Tyler Wood.
Dashiell Vandervloed.
William Woodland.
Kai Beneman.
Tamira Woods.
Angelo Villacrez.
Nadira Wright Harris.
Angus Velocity.
Gracious Wyatt Dreyer.
Chris Wen.
Aaron Shu.
Nikel Williams.
Anton Shu.
Emily Wills.
Huakun Shu.
Joshua Wills.
Nikias Yared.
Christina Antoinette Wilson.
Armani Bond Scott.
Olivia Wise.
Niat Ikalu.
Livia
Ava.
Wolfley.
Ava Ezzedine.
Eric Wong. Nicholas Wood. Denny Wu. Aiden Yusufian. Bill Yu. Isabel Yue. Ella Zog James. Natanim Seleke. Joyce Zhang. Jiazeng Zhang. Alice Zhang. Jackie Zhao. Una Zilavi. and Jave Spears.
I'd like to have Superintendent Dr. Brent Jones come say a few words.
Soon-to-be graduates, on behalf of Seattle Public Schools, School District Number 1, I wish you safe travels in your next endeavors. I hope that you will choose to be great and fantastic in your chosen endeavors. I hope that you choose to be great citizens and take joy in serving others. And most importantly, become who you've always dreamed to be. Without further ado, we're getting ready to graduate you. Thank you.
So what I'm about to say, I don't want anyone to do right now. This is about dismissal, but we're not there yet. So, graduates, our ceremony is nearing completion. However, before we finish, we want to remind our guests and you how we'll exit from the stadium. Family and guests, we ask that you remain in your seats until all the graduates have been dismissed from their seats. They will exit out the northwest field level. I'm supposed to point to the back right. That's back right? Oh, that back right, okay. They're exiting from the back right, and they'll be headed to the International Fountain. For our guests seated to my left, in the south section of our stadium, please exit through the tunnels and the rolling doors immediately at the back of the stadium. For guests seated to my right, in the north section of the stadium, you may come down to the stadium field and use the field exit after the students have left. You may exit from the gates you entered through. Got that? So we know what we're doing. Next important point, I'm going to call Miss Aziza Labe back up for an important thing. Come on.
Hi guys, I'm back and I'm not crying. Okay. High school graduates, it is now time for that honored tradition of moving your tassel to signify your status as a graduate. I ask you and any of our students live streaming to stand as you are able and to move your tassel from the right to left on the count of 3, so not yet. So let's all stand. Beautiful, beautiful. On 3, not after 3, on 3, we're gonna move our tassels from the right to the left. Are you guys ready? It didn't sound like it. Are you guys ready? There we go. On 3. 1, 2, 3. Oh yeah! Congratulations to the class of 21. Is that everything?
Good job, good job. Excellent, excellent. Okay, graduates, if you can wait just another minute, Our staff is going to be heading back to the field to form a tunnel to celebrate your graduation. After the tunnel is formed, the director of schools will dismiss each row in reverse order, starting at the back. Please walk through the tunnel and up to the International Fountain, where you can reconnect with your family and friends. Staff, please stand and move to the back to create the tunnel. So we're going to give them a few minutes. All right. I'm gonna tell you, it's okay to toss your caps, but just make sure you pick up the one that's yours. That's all. When you're done. Okay, tossing caps. 1, 2, 3. That was gorgeous. That was absolutely gorgeous. Everybody, hold up. The directors are directing you. Pay attention.